So I hopped on the ICARUS today, and I had a weird call from the UDA. Apparently one of their pilots was drunk or something, crashed their dropship nearby, so they said, "Rad, we know you're the prospector to get this job done." And you know what I did? I said, all right, what's in it for me? They said there was 100 Ren in it for me. And I said, fuck that, double it. And they said, all right, we can do 200. So, looks like we gotta go play the rescue role here.
The Assembly are new to ICARUS, but if their track record's anything to go by, they'll be running the place soon enough. If you're looking for some quick cash, this could be the one. Looks simple enough, but then again, it always does. You should know how to pick them by now.
So off I was on my way down south to go find this dropship.
Once the Assembly got Africa working together, nothing could stop it. And now, here we are. They're paying the contract, but the clock, that belongs to ICARUS. So check your objectives and get going, because they'll be spinning their wheels till you do. Stay safe, friend.
Now that we had all our quest information handy, I continue to work my way south to find this crashed dropship. Apart from stopping to take in some of the natural beauty of Olympus, it was fairly uneventful. Finally, after we finished our trek south, we reached the crashed UDA dropship. Inside, I found a damaged gyroscope and a can of biofuel. Now this meant that to complete this quest, we had to get into Tier 3 and start processing biofuel at our base. But before we do that, we need to head north to I-13 to retrieve a thruster from some nearby wreckage. Upon locating the wreckage, we discovered that its impact had attracted a black leopard, uncommon in this region. After dispatching him with the rifle we acquired from the potshot mission, we harvested its corpse and retrieved the thruster from the wreckage before returning to base to work on the other quest objectives. Once we were back at base, I repaired the gyroscope with some metals we had handy. Now all that was left was to progress in the biofuel. Fuck, that's a good burger. Now, there are a lot of ways to go about setting up your biofuel manufacturing. Some people rely on meat from hunting, leftover crops from farming, or even fiber from gathering. However, there's one method that will not only get you all of the materials needed for biofuel, but it will even get you a steady supply of wood without the use of any erectile dysfunction meds. Before we get into that though, we have to get some of this Tier 3 infrastructure going. This starts with us getting a cement mixer and gathering up the silica we need for both the cement and glass we'll need for our greenhouse. Now that our first batch of concrete is ready, we're going to upgrade to the concrete furnace, which will allow us to smelt glass as well as some of our higher tier metals we may need soon. We're also going to have to go back out for more silica and some sulfur for making our crop plots. Next, we'll be making our first biofuel composter and glass working bench. These will allow us to actually produce the biofuel and produce the glass building pieces we need for our greenhouse. Then we will craft an iron shovel to collect up some dirt, which will be the last thing we're missing for our crop plots. Damn, I feel like I'm back in Minecraft again. Now that everything's collected, We'll craft the crop plots and last pieces for the greenhouse so that we can actually get started farming. Since we got everything planted, I can finally explain what this biofuel strategy is. Coconuts. Each tree produces both coconuts and a decent amount of wood each harvest. You then toss the coconuts into a wood composter, which breaks them down into spoiled plants, which can be combined with tree sap, which you make from the wood. Just a small field of these trees is enough to maintain a steady supply of biofuel, enough to progress you into tier 4 when you'll switch over to electronics. Now, for the moment, we'll need to make a batch of biofuel out of whatever we have laying around, but after that, we'll be able to reliably make it from just these trees. Now that we arrived back at the UDA crash site with the components we need, we just need to install them on the drop pod and protect it while it does a reboot sequence. Thankfully, I repaired up our rifle so that it can last for an extended fight if needed. During this fight, you'll see some slightly more difficult named enemies, and as you can see, this fight can last for a while. So when doing this quest, make sure to bring plenty of ammo and meds.
That's everything. You did it, and lived to tell the tale. Which is more than a lot of folk can say. Because they're dead. The assembly can be slow to trust people. But if you keep this up, you'll do well with them.
Now that our mission's complete, all we have left to do is clean up this mountain of corpses. It is tedious work, but quests like these are a great way to fill your stockpiles of meat, leather, fur, and bones. Also, once you get near the end of this massive harvest, you can also use your mount to load up a few of the bodies and run them to your skidding bench back at base. Now that we're back at base, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head upstairs, harvest these coconut trees now that they're ready. And you'll see we're getting about 10 coconuts per harvest, which is pretty decent. So we load up some of them in the composter and the rest in the seed extractor, and then head to bed for the night. I want to thank you for watching my video. If you're enjoying the series, definitely consider dropping a sub here on YouTube to get notifications when I release future episodes. I currently make one video each day and spend between 6 and 8 hours making each one. Who knows, if things go well, I might even have a little surprise for you.